Because every time I'm counting dollar, like the cash, I'm always thinking in Portuguese. And it's
Hi, welcome to our first episode of Small Business. And this is my host, Christiani.
Hello.
Hey, Christiani, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. All right, so we are in this episode, and most episodes, we talk about real estate, we talk about small business, and we talk about life. And that's what we're here to do. And Christiani, thanks for having me. So, Christiani, tell us a little bit about you.
Yes. So I am, like you said, Christiani, and I am a small business owner, entrepreneur, real estate investor, and mom of two boys.
So So mom of two boys. So is it Christian or is it?
It's like
Christian. How do you say your name?
It's Christiani, so it's Christian with the E in the end. So some people call me Christian, other people Christine, but my friends call me Christiani. So just take a little bit used to get to the sound, but after that it's easy to remember. So that's from Brazil. I'm Brazilian, and I've been here since 2000 in US. And I lived a little bit in Arlington, Virginia before coming to Atlanta.
Okay.
Yes,
well, that
been
is
here.
awesome. So
Been
tell
here.
us.
Half of my time here, half of my time in Brazil. I'm just saying something because I've been half of the time here, half the time in Brazil. So when I'm here, I feel like I'm still a foreign or an immigrant. You know, when I go to Brazil, I have the same feeling too. People look at me, or like things are a little bit different as far as the cultures. But you feel the same way everywhere you are, I guess. But I just wanted to say that.
To add to that, I've been here my entire life, and I am an immigrant from Laos through the Vietnam War, and I've been here my entire life. My entire 40 plus year life, and I still feel like a foreign. And when I go home, I feel the exact same way.
Isn't it crazy?
So
I'm sure a lot of immigrants out there that can resonate with them too. Because I have friends from all over and we all talk about the same things.
But the epiphany that changes things, first off, is the biggest thing is that have you stopped thinking and dreaming in English, or do you still think and dream in your language? That is the key.
Yes.
That is the key to how things change in your mindset.
Can I just say something else too? I dream, of course, in English because my reality is in English. Like, for example, if I'm talking with my sister, she lives here, so we talk in Portuguese. So we're going to be speaking Portuguese. But if I am with Pat or talk with other, business or with my kids, we speak in English. So my dreams are English. But there's one big difference that I've learned because I talk with a pathologist, a speech pathologist, and she told me you can tell, like every time that you count money, if you always it's gonna count in the language, the original language. And it's so funny because every time I'm counting dollar, like the cash, I'm always thinking in Portuguese, and it's so true.
So it's lower.
It never goes away.
So you're counting lower cash, so the reais are a lot lower. So if you're counting $100 bill,
I gotta
it's $50.
divide.
Is it $50 or less?
Yeah, I got or multiply by 5, right?
Is that an abundance mindset or a scarcity mindset? Because that's less money, right? So it's like.
You know what I mean, right?
I'm teasing.
Okay, good.
So let's talk about what you do. So you are, what are you? What do you do for a living?
I started with small business, so I've been having stores for over 18 years, I think now. So for me, that way or their journey was what really was my purpose, because I really wanted to have my own business. I come from a small business from home, from Brazil. So for me, it was like a natural transition to come to the US and then find something that really resonate and start a business and then seeing it taken off, So that's who I am. And then I started about 15 years ago just investing in real estate because I love it. And as I come from a family that my dad was a real estate investor too. So that's how I started real estate, and I love it. And now I've been doing mortgages, for a while, and I really enjoy it.
So when you do real estate, what is it when you say you invest in real estate, that you do? Like how many What do you do? Do you buy it? Do you sell it? How many properties do you invest in, or do you own?
Yeah, it's. I started out. I bought my first condo here back in 2006. I bought in Midtown, and I don't know if you guys remember. Was that time there was a lot of non-doc loans because I had my Social Security, but I didn't have credit built yet, and I didn't have a lot of years of W-2s or whatever. So I started that way. I put 10% down on time, and they verified my credit, verified my employment, and that's it. I got a condo, and I still have it to this day. So it's been since 2006. So everything I learned from my dad too. You buy and you hold. So has been my philosophy.
Okay, all right. So you buy it and then you rent it out, or do you kind of sometimes people you Airbnb it? What do you do with your properties?
So in the beginning, once I moved out of that condo and bought a house, I wanted to rent it out. So I'm always, like I said, buying and holding, and having the tenant pay for the mortgage, and so that's the natural process. So when I start seeing that there was opportunity there, and then I'm like, oh, I want to get another property now that I have two, and seeing everything working out. I used to believe like how much we learn, right? I used to think that coming from my daddy experience and bringing this on. So you buy something, you pay it off, and then you move on to something else, buy a new house or a new condo, or a new place, and then pay that off, and then you move. You move on, like kind of Dave Ramsey.
No, I was taught the same way too. I was taught the same way because it was my parents always taught me you gotta save. They hide cash under the mattress and said you gotta save, and they saved and they saved and they saved, and yeah. So is that not how you buy properties and houses?
Exactly. That's what I came to learn. Not only that, but another thing that I came to learn too, which is a lot of people still believe that you need to have 20% the down payment in order to buy a property, which is not true at all. And I used to think the same way, that just to avoid PMI, right? Private mortgage insurance.
So you bought your first property and you did not get all the cash and bought it cash.
No. All the cash that I got, I put into the condo, and I pay off my condo.
So you paid it off first before you moved.
I did.
So you worked really hard and you got cash, and then you paid off your first condo.
Nothing wrong, right? Nothing wrong. I didn't do anything wrong. But just my beliefs were like you keep moving, and even the loan programs are different today too.
Yeah, I think the first book that anybody read, everybody would be. Did you read it? The Rich Dad Poor Dad.
I did not.
But
I read the quadrant.
Okay,
what is that?
Okay.
Yeah, I have the book, but that's the book that I love.
That's what
that he had.
99% of all real estate people that people start is always Robert Kiyosaki. He's a legend.
Yes. So. My first one I put 10% down because it was non-doc. So okay, my realtor said, "Why are you gonna put 20% down?" I said, "Okay, I'll put 10% down." So I bought it for 140,000. And because the time that I bought, I start my small business, and in the first 2 years we were building it. But once we took off, it was beautiful. Like we just kind of sat back and we're able to see how good it is.
Yes. So you only have one property. You were working, and you were trying to figure out, okay, I want to buy another property. So your first original mindset. I'm going to call it mindset. That's okay, right? Mindset. Your first mindset is to pay this off and buy the next property. I mean, I was raised that way. I was raised to make sure you don't have any debt. So, yes.
So I think I paid all. What I did too was a 2-bedroom. So I rent the other room out. So I had somebody helping me with the mortgage. So I was able to pay it off in less than 3 years.
You house hacked.
Exactly.
House hack.
And I didn't even know about the term or anything, but it was sweet, having somebody help me pay for utilities.
Is that roommate or boyfriend?
Roommate. Yeah.
So you paid it. So you pay off that house, and what did you do? What was next?
And then I bought a new house, and so with the new house, I was able to rent the condo, which was wonderful, and learning how to do, the leases. And so far, I have a lot of experience with single family homes. I did a short term. I'm very experienced with short term and manage short term from far away and medium term too, which I really love. And now I'm trying to get more into multifamily.
You are now a real estate investor, and you do real estate full time. And how many properties do you have again?
I have 8.
8 properties. So pretty good. All right.
But the difference is when I start changing my mindset of getting a loan instead of paying for the property down, entirely in order to buy a new one. I was like, okay, now I get a loan and I'll put 20% down or 10% down. So I was able to scale a lot faster.
Did you probably read the book or you know it already? You use debt for leverage or leverage for debt.
Yes.
Right? Debt
yes.
to leverage, and you were able to build. So from there you've scaled a lot faster.
Definitely.
Yes.
And then I finally, could understand what it means to, in the burr, if you guys know the how you say the way that you what do you call that, the burr method.
The burr
method. That's the word.
The BRRR: buy, renovate, rent, refinance.
Yes.
That's what it is. Thank you, David Green and Bigger Pockets.
No, it was more of that one. It was David Green.
Oh, no,
or
Brandon, sorry, brother. Better Life. Here we go.
But yeah, so when I got to that new method, I grew a lot faster. So I went from pretty much from 1 million to 5 million, and now I'm ready to move on to multifamily.
So would you say you have financial freedom?
I would say I'm pretty close to it. I've had I feel like I have more control of my time now than I have never had before. Time with my kids that I really enjoy. Traveling, I mean, it's just.
So tell us what you do now. So now you are in real estate full time. Tell us what you do in real estate.
So
what is full-time real estate?
I do mortgages, right? Home mortgages. Okay. So I get to know more people and network.
So you found the fast track. You're like, you know what? I need to borrow money.
Yeah.
I need loans. I'm going to do loans. Is that what you did? You just decided that you were going to do loans?
To
speed up your process, or you do it because you love it?
I did it because from my experience dealing with loan officers, wasn't that great. There's not a lot of explanations and they would not break down the loans and explain. So I thought there's a demand there for people like me that can come and explain and kind of show that you can grow and you can have your first house or have investment property using the bank money. The bank can help you. From my experience, I have realtors, so many times realtors were looking for investment properties, and then we put an offer in, and then I was using their mortgage brokers and calling them and asking for help. There's not a lot of help there. They're pretty much like straight to the point. You gotta have 2 years of this, and I'm self-employed, and I'm like, okay, is there any other loans that we can do?
My experience with loans, I remember that I would call, at least a dozen loan officers. I would call and I would say, hey, I'm an entrepreneur. I have my own business, and they would literally hang up the phone on me. They would literally tell me no, and no, and no answers. They wouldn't. I think the thing is like they didn't give you a path, and even the real estate agents, when I would work with a real estate agent, how you say real estate agent? Sorry,
yeah, or
Asian,
realtor,
real estate agent. I'm joking. Asian pops out because I'm Asian. No, I'm joking. So real estate agent, realtors. So when I work with them, they would give me their recommended mortgage broker or mortgage person. Yeah. And that mortgage person would literally turn me down, and then that was dead end.
Yes.
Like there was no help out there in how, because I would say with you being successful and being in the industry, it's not a matter of, it's not a matter of that I can't have what I have or that I can't have. It's how do I get it, right? So it's how. So I think you kind of found a way to say, how can I get to where I want to be, and you kind of found a way to get it because you were obviously you were a loan officer
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
but you were talking about different loans that you had. But I think that coming from, and tell me if I'm heading the right direction, but you became a loan officer out of your experience and frustration
Yes.
of dealing with loan officers.
In talking with other people and other investors, and it's hard if you go to the traditional mortgage brokers. They don't know a lot of the loan programs that are out there, and then there's a lot of more loans. You don't need the bank anymore. There's a lot of lenders now that are out there, and they love to lend to investors.
All right. So before we end today's podcast, let's just a few questions that we have. We always ask all of our people here. What's a light bulb? What was the light bulb that jumpstart you and made you start investing and start small business and what you want to do? Like, what was the number one light bulb?
For me, I'm gonna talk more about the real estate because I think it's easy.
Yes.
And I'm not gonna take too much of our time
Okay.
and you guys' time. But for real estate, is to understand that get a loan. Don't use your own money. If you don't need to put any money down, don't put any money down. And then see the property appreciating. And then when you refinance, you can take all of that money and use that money to build another real estate and slowly get your portfolio going.
So don't use all your money.
That's the best way, yes.
Now, you're saying that as a real estate, as a mortgage broker, or are you saying that as so?
No, from my experience. Yeah, I've been a real estate investor before I got to be a mortgage broker.
Okay.
A mortgage broker happened to me, we can talk more about it later, but because I start seeing, I'm like, I can do this and I can do this really well and help people that are, out there and needs help investing or buying their homes. But that for me was, really seeing that how much leverage.
Wow.
That's the word.
Yes.
Leverage.
That sounds good. What was the number one book that helped you and helped you grow?
The number one book that I really enjoy reading and really helped me through my journey was Brandon. What's his name?
Who?
I always forget him.
The Bitter Brandon?
Yeah.
Bitter Brandon.
Brandon.
Turner.
Brandon Turner.
Yes.
So was his book on rental properties and how to manage your rental properties. That's something that I really use it and really helped me to be a good landlord. Because I think if you're gonna have tenants, you got to make sure that you're fair landlord.
All right. And where can people find you?
Oh, Instagram. I am Atlanta. How you call those? That.
Atlanta
You want the dash underscore?
Underscore.
Atlanta underscore mortgage. That's on Instagram, and this is my channel. So we'll be coming up. Pat is gonna be helping me. My idea is to get with my Brazilian fellows and my Brazilian realtors and do some in Portuguese. Aí, galera, português chegando aí. Vamos investir na América.
All right, thanks. Bye, guys.